गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्ण श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्ण माधव मधुसूदन हरि नारायण माधव मधुसूदन हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्ण श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्ण माधव मधुसूदन हरि नारायण माधव मधुसूदन हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण केशव माधव हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्णा श्री वेणुगोपाल कृष्णा माधवा मधुसूदना हरि नारायण माधवा मधुसूदना हरि नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण कृष्ण राम गोविंद नारायण हरे नारायण हरे नारायण हरे नारायण
सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो
सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो
सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो
सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम कहो सीताराम कहो राधे श्याम
बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान के जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म के जय। जय जय सीताराम. Cordial welcome, devotees, all of you who are joining us today at the mandir, and to all who are joining virtually online. Very warm and cordial welcome to all of you to take part in this, our second session of our annual Ramayan Yagna. Yesterday, our session was indeed very, very beautiful. By grace and blessings of Bhagwan, today also we've started with wonderful puja, some beautiful kirtan, bhajans being done. And I can see on the half of the face that I'm seeing, and everybody, half is blocked with a mask, right? So I can see glad hearts, beautiful hearts and beautiful feelings. You all have come today with that wonderful feeling. And this bodes well, because your energy also helps me to fulfill my duty and my obligation. So at this time, as we prepare to begin, I ask that we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads, we focus our minds upon Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram. We ask that, Lord, today, O Prabhu, we are your humble children. We are your humble devotees. We come today as seekers of your grace and blessing. We ask you, Prabhu, you who are known as Kripalu, all merciful, we ask you, Lord, to bless us, to grace us, to lead us on this path of spirituality and devotion as we embark in this journey into the pages of Sri Ramacharita. We all pray together. Hare Om, Hare Om, Hare Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamale Bhyo Namaha. Ramaya Ram Bhadraya Ramchandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Nilam Bhuj Shamal Komalangam Sita Samaropit Vamhagam Panav Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. He Ram Purushottam Narhari Narayan Keshava Govinda Garuda Dhwaja Gunanidhi Damodar Madhava. He Krishna Kamalapati Yadupati Sitapati Shripati Vaikunta Adipati Characharpati Lakshmipati Pahimam. Adau Ram Tapo Vanadigamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayumaranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudrataranam Lanka Puri Dahanam Paschat Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam Etadhi Ramayanam. Jai Ram Shri Ram जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। रामायण सुमिरन। जेहि सो मेरा तसे भी हो, गणनायक कर वर बरना, करहु अनुग्रह सो, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना, मुख होई वाचा, पंगोचर है गिर वर गहना, जासु कृपा सुदया, द्रवो सकल कर मल दहना, नील सरोह श्याम, करुण रुण बारिश नयना, करौ सो मम ऊर्ध्व, सदा क्षीर सागर शयना, कुंदेन्दु समदेहा, कुमार मन करुणायना, जाहि दीन बलनेहा, करहु कृपा मर्दनमयना, बंदो गुरु पद कांज, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरे, महामोह तम पूंज, जासु बचन रवि हरि करा, सियापति राम चंद्र जी की जय शरण। Very simply, very beautifully, we chant the name of Maryada Purushottam. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram,
Jai Jai Ram.
Let our hearts become filled with that nectar, with the ras that comes from chanting the name of Prabhu. May that nectar, that blessing of chanting the Lord's name, remove all negativity, all difficulty, all sufferings from our life. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram,
Shri Ram
जय जय राम
Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. Devotees, now that we have driven out any semblance of negativity from our minds and our hearts by engaging in chanting the beautiful name of the Lord, we approach the pages of Sri Ramcharitamanas. Yesterday we heard about greatness of listening to the katha that comes from the pages of Ramayan or Sri Ramcharitamanas. Tonight's katha also taken from Balkand, and we will start just after Doha number 49. So a little bit further on into the Ramayan. And today is what day of the week? Monday. So anybody know how we call Monday in Hindi? I mean, somebody sings it. Somebody saying? No? Nobody saying? Sorry? Somvar, yes. Somvar. And which form of Bhagwan do we call Somnath? Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. So on this day it's very special to worship Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. So before we get into tonight's katha, which also deals with Lord Shiva, we chant for a few moments praises of Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. So we all become very energetic. We all chant with a great amount of Shakti energy to Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva. Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva. Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva.
Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva.
Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva.
Dam dam damaru, damaru nath Shiva.
Dhimika dhimika dhim Bholenath 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 Shiva.
Dam dam damaru, damaru nath 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 Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Har Har Bam Bam Bholenath 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 Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shivaya Namah Shiva Shambhunath 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 Shiva.
Dam 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 Damarunath Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
What is Mahapati Mahadev Shiv Shankar Bhagwan? He is that Lord that performs the Tandava dance. He plays the Damaru. He performs that dance. It's called the dance of destruction. We ask that Lord today to dance into our lives and destroy all forms of negativity, negative attitudes, behaviors, thoughts, anything that will lead us in the wrong path. We all pray and we all chant onto Shiv Shankar Bhagwan devotees. Chant with your heart, chant with love, chant with devotion, chant with energy unto Lord Shiva. Invite His blessings into your life on this very auspicious day of Sombar. Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Dhimika Dhimika Dhim Bholenath 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 Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Natana Manohar Nataraja Shiva.
Har Har Bam Bam Bholenath 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 Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shambho Shankar Vishwanath Shiva.
Shivaya Namah Shiva Shambhunath 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 Shiva.
Dam Dam Damaru Damarunath 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 Shiva.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya Bolo
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya Bolo
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya
Om Namah Shivaya Har Har Om Namah Shivaya.
Bol Mahapati Mahadev ki Jai. Devotees, it was that time Parvati Mata, in her previous form, her previous existence of Sati Devi, along with Lord Shiva, in age of Treta Yuga. So Treta Yuga is the second age. We have Satyug, Treta Yuga, Dwapar, and then Kali Yuga. Of the four ages. Treta Yuga is when Maryada Purushottam took incarnation in that age. So in Treta Yuga, Shiv Shankar Bhagavan along with Sati Devi visited the ashram of sage Agastya. And in visiting this sage Agastya, of course, duly worshipped Lord Shiva. What a wonderful opportunity. Lord Shiva visits our home in divine physical form. When we perform our puja, also every puja that we do, Lord Shiva is one of what we call Pach Mahadevta, that he is included in every puja. And we take that opportunity to worship him, every puja. And I always remind devotees when I go that when you look upon your Vedi, don't just see a palm leaf. Don't just see a brass murti or marble murti. See that personification, manifestation of Bhagwan seated on your Vedi. And make your offerings as such. Make your offerings like this. So Agastya Muni, he performed the worship of Lord Shiva, and then they sat down and Agastya Muni started to recite Sri Ramcharitamanas to Lord Shiva. He started to narrate this katha to Lord Shiva. And in this narration, Lord Shiva spent some time. So not 2 hours, not 2 days, he spent some time sitting. How many verses in Sri Ramcharitamanas? I've said this many times. How many verses? See how the teacher does know when you don't know the answer. The eye does go down so. 24,000 verses, 24,000 shlokas in Sri Ramcharitamanas. Doesn't take 2 days to finish. Take some time to narrate this entire katha. And devotees, after this, Lord Shiva went back to Mount Kailash, and he spent this time along with Sati Devi. In this time now, Maryada Purushottam took incarnation in Ayodhya, in the palace of King Dashrath. Lord Shiva, he so wanted to go and get darshan of the Lord. He so wanted to go and see that incarnation of Mahavishnu Bhagavan. But he didn't get that opportunity. However, when Sita Mata was abducted, and Prabhu Sri Ram seemed to be very anguished, very agitated, suffering a lot for loss of his consort. And he was traveling the roadways in search of Sita Mata. Lord Shiva was there. Lord Shiva was there, and Lord Shiva saw his Lord like this. But Lord Shiva did not divulge who he was. He did not say who he was. He just stood from afar and he paid obeisance. He paid obeisance to Sri Ram, because he thought at that time it was not fit for him to go forward and say, I am Lord Shiva. So he stood from a distance, and devotees, Sati Devi was also accompanying him at this time. And what happens? Our katha begins at this point in Chaupai. जय सच्चिदानंद जग पावन, जय सच्चिदानंद जग पावन, अस कही चले मनोजन श्रावण। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम।
चले जात शिव सती समेता, पुनि पुनि पुलकत कृपा निकेता। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। सती सोदसा शंभु कहे देखी, सती सोदसा शंभु कहे देखी, पुर उपजा संदेह विशेषी। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। शंकर जगत बंध्य जगदीशा, सुर नर मुनि सब नावत शीशा। बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। जय सच्चिदानंद जग पावन, अस कही चलयु मनोजन सावन। Devotees, on seeing his Lord, on seeing Prabhu Shri Ram, that one who destroyed Kamadev, he went on his way, but keeping that memory, keeping that picture of the Lord in his mind. And he went on saying, Jai Sachidanand, Jai Sachidanand. Glory to that one who is Satchid Anand. Three things, three words. Sat, Chit, Anand. Truth, consciousness, bliss. The embodiment of these wonderful qualities. Glory, victory to that Satchid Anand. That one who is Jagapavan. That one who is the purifier of this creation, of this universe. Devotees, Lord Shiva, that all-merciful Lord, he went on his way. His thoughts were lost in that vision of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram. Again and again, with great joy in his heart, he would say, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. Devotees, this is something that is important for us. That when we go to a puja, when we go to a satsang, when we go to the mandir, we attend some religious function, spiritual function. When we leave that place, then that memory of what we have experienced should remain with us. Right? It shouldn't be that soon as the puja is finished or the satsang is finished, we go back into all the old talk that we are engaged in, that we normally engage in. Do we see this happening, devotees? Yes, we do. I had the unfortunate opportunity to watch a video where a person I believe to be a pandit was trying to educate our brothers and sisters about how we should conduct ourselves when we attend a puja, when we attend a wedding, when we attend a funeral, any spiritual function. And he was highlighting that many of our brothers and sisters, I don't know if any one of you all have seen that video, they attend a wedding, funeral, and they go stocked in their trunk. You all understand what I mean? Right? They go well stocked in their trunk. And while the family is mourning or trying to have a sacred ceremony for their child to enter into marriage stage of life, then we have invitees who are indulging otherwise. And we understand, devotees, in this age of Kali Yuga, these are things that will happen. They are things that will happen, but it doesn't mean to say that as spiritual leaders, we have to stop talking about it. We have to stop educating about it. We put ourselves out there that someone will say, oh, what he's talking about. That's okay. If somebody believes I'm speaking nonsense, that's okay. That's your opinion. But what is correct, what is incorrect, from the pages of our scriptures, where we are doing some sattvic ceremony, some pure ceremony, pure puja, why would we involve anything that is impure in relation to that? In the same way, devotees, we may not go to that extent, but we have to ask ourselves, when puja is finished, do I ruminate? Do I think? Do I go over the thoughts that were projected to me? The knowledge that was presented to me? Or do I just brush it away, put it one side, forget it altogether, and go on living normally? Lord Shiva didn't forget, devotees. He did not forget. Over and over in his mind, he was replaying that darshan. He was replaying that darshan of the Lord. Now, there's a very beautiful bhajan that we sing unto Sri Krishna, where we ask for his darshan. So today, we all ask for that darshan of Shri Ram. We ask very beautifully, very lovingly, "Oh Lord, please give me that divine vision of yours." Darshan do Shri Ram Naat more Akhiya pyase re Darshan do Shri Ram Darshan do Shri Ram Naat more Akhiya pyase re Darshan do
Shri Ram
मन मंदिर की ज्योति जगा दो मन मंदिर की
ज्योति जगा दो
घट घट बांसी रे घट घट बांसी रे दर्शन दो श्री राम नाथ मोरे
अगिया प्यासी रे दर्शन दो श्री
मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी फिर भी ना देखी सूरत तेरी मंदिर मंदिर मूरत तेरी फिर भी ना देखी सूरत तेरी युग बीते ना आए मिलन के युग बीते ना
आए मिलन की
पूरन मासी रे पूरन मासी रे दर्शन दो
हर शाम
नाथ मोरे
अगिया प्यासी रे
दर्शन दो श्री राम दर्शन दो श्री राम दर्शन दो श्री राम। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। Devotees, we should remain with that thirst to see our Lord, to remember the experiences that we had in the satsang, in the puja, in the yagna. We should be eager to remember this. And devotees, Lord Shiva continuously replaying in his mind this beautiful vision that he had seen of Prabhu Shri Ram. Devotees, when Sati Devi, Sati so dasa shambhu kai dekhi, when she saw Lord Shiva in this state, devotees, what happened? Ur upaja sandeha biseshi. In her mind arose a great doubt, a great question. A great question. Devotees, what was that question? Shankar Jagat Bandhya Jagadisha. That Lord Shiva is the Supreme Lord, the Lord of this universe. And he is worshipped by the entire universe. Sur Nar Muni Sab Navat Sisha. The Suras, the Devtas, human beings, all the munis, the sages, they all bow their heads to Shiv Shankar. They all bow their heads to Lord Shiva. So devotees, this doubt arose in her mind. What was that doubt, devotees? Tinha nripa sutta hi kinha paranama kahi sachidanand paradhama. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Raghupati Radhav, Raja Ram, Jai Raghupati Radhav,
Raja
Hai Magan Chavi Tasu Biloki अजहु प्रीति उर रहती न रोके. जय राम श्री राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय रघुपति राघव, राजा राम, जय रघुपति राघव, राजा राम, जय रघुपति राघव, राजा राम. Tinha nripasuta hi kinha paranama. Devotees, even though Lord Shiva in her mind is that universal supreme Lord that all adore, she says, he paid obeisance to this prince. He paid obeisance to this prince. He did pranam to this prince. That supreme Lord, Kahi Sachidanand Paradhama, that supreme Lord who is also called Sachidanand in the form of Shiv Shankar Bhagavan. Bhai Magan Chavi Tasu Biloki. He became enraptured. He became so lost in love, in the vision of that prince. Sati Devi wasn't seeing that prince as Sri Ram. She wasn't seeing him as Bhagwan. That ajahu priti ura rahati na roki. Devotees, that up till now she's saying, he is unable to control this emotion that he's feeling. This love that came up in his heart, up till now he's not able to control it. So what happened? A little jealousy, na? Sati Devi. She's saying, Lord Shiva in this state, after seeing his Ishtadev, after seeing Prabhu Sri Ram, so now she's questioning, who is this? A prince? A prince wandering around in the forest, and my Lord has gotten like this because of this vision. What is happening? What is happening, devotees? Sati Devi, a great question came up in her mind. And let us hear what happens further in Doha. Brahma jo vyapat biraja akalaniha abheda akalaniha abheda. So ki deha dhari होए नरा जाहिन जानत बेर सियापति की रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम. So in her mind, devotees started to flow all different types of thoughts. She said, Brahma jo vyapak birjaja akala aneha abheda. She said, can that Supreme Brahma, that Supreme Lord, who is all pervading, who is unborn, who is without parts, who is free from all desire, who is beyond Maya. He said, so ki deha dhari hoi nara. Will that Lord take form as a human being? Boli Shri Ramachandra ki jai. This thought came in her mind. This question came in her mind. Will that Supreme Lord take incarnation as a human being? Sometimes we hear things from our scriptures, and of course, sometimes questions come, right? We wonder, is it really happened? Did it really happen? Devotees, the words of our scriptures, we must have faith. We must have Vishwas in our scriptures. We must have faith in our scriptures. If we are to call ourselves Sanatanis Hindus, we must have faith in the words of our scriptures that Maryada Purushottam did come. And now we are seeing historical evidence being unearthed by scientific community of the existence of Maryada Purushottam, of the existence of Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, who was here just over 5,000 years ago. We are seeing some historical evidence coming up now to support what our scriptures have been saying for so long. But she's saying, this doubt, this question came, will that Lord come down upon the earth? You know, there are some thoughts that are projected in religions that God will not come in human form. God will not come in human form. But devotees, the Lord is limitless. Limitless. There's no limitations on what Bhagavan can do. So if he wants to come in human form, what is to stop him? Or who is to stop him? But the thought becomes, will he come in a human form? And this thought was going through the mind of Sati Devi. And devotees, she went on to think. Let us hear. विष्णु जो सुर हेत नर तन धारे सुसर्वज्ञ जथा त्रिपुरारे. बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. हो जय सो के आज्ञा एवनार ज्ञान धाम श्रीपति असुरारे. बोलो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. बोलो श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम
जय जय राम. the mind, how the mind goes, right? You know how the mind goes? Everybody's familiar with your mind. Dean, you familiar? Yeah. Since you're born, you know your mind, right? Everybody, we are very familiar with our mind and how our mind works. So, the mind starts to run on now. From one thought, it goes to another thought, to another thought, to another thought, like a monkey, jumping branch to branch to branch, all over the place. Sometimes in seemingly no logical fashion. No logical way that mind works like this. She is going now. Vishnu jo sur hita nar tan dhari. That, if that Mahavishnu Bhagavan, even if he takes a human form, for the sake of the suras, for the sake of the devatas, so sarvagya jatha tripurari, that he is omniscient, he is as powerful as Lord Shiva. That one who destroyed the demon known as Tripura. One of the names of Lord Shiva is Tripurari. So he got that name because he destroyed that demon by the name of Tripura. But she said that Lord Vishnu, if he took incarnation as human form, Ho jai so ki agya ivanari, will that Supreme Lord, even after taking human form, will he wander the forest looking for his consort? Boli Shri Ramachandra ki jai. See how the mind works? See how the mind running? From one question to another question to another question. I had mentioned this before, when I was very small and starting to go to puja and so on with my dad. And it was just me and him most times in the vehicle. And this was the perfect opportunity to ask questions. It's quiet time, So I'll ask a question, he'll answer. And from that answer now becomes another question. And he answered that question. And from that answer became another question. And this is how the mind works. The mind likes to question. Very inquisitive, very curious. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with being curious. Nothing is wrong with wanting to know. But then he didn't get tired of me asking the questions. Or if he was annoyed, he didn't show me. He didn't show me he was annoyed. But he told me something very profound that day that I remember until today. A long time now. I remember that until today. He said to me, when you stop questioning, the answers will come. So from that day, no question. No question. It means, devotees, where are the questions coming from? What is churning out the questions? Our mind, isn't it? Our mind. And somewhat our intellect, our intellectual capabilities are churning out these questions. And we ask ourselves, how powerful is our intellect? How developed is our intellect? When science says, right, and this is not me, science says that the average person today uses about 5 to 7% of their intellectual capability. If we use 9 and 10, we are considered genius in this world. So we ask ourselves, what is generating these questions? Our mind, our intellect? So how worthy are these questions? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't have, okay? That you shouldn't have inquiries and you shouldn't make inquiries. But understand that we shouldn't question the words of the scriptures. Everything in our life is based on faith. Whether we believe that or not. Everything in our life is based on faith. Simple concept. When we wake up in the morning, we have faith that the sun is going to rise, isn't it? Anybody wake up and say, I wonder if the sun will rise? No. But we have faith. Surya Narayan Swami is there. Right? When we take our car and we go on the road, now we're going with all faith, even though we have crazy drivers, that one of them is not going to, crash into my car and hurt me. We go with our faith. And the example I always use, one of the things that we all do, wake up in the morning, we go into our washroom, bathroom, and we take our toothbrush and we open the toothpaste and put it on the toothbrush, put it in our mouth. How many people actually read the ingredients on the toothpaste? Chris said he does, right? Most people don't question that. They don't question it. They go on faith. They go on faith that they put this thing in their mouth, it's not going to hurt them. It's not going to kill them. It's not going to poison them, right? So you see how many things in our life based on faith? But then, when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to the words of the scriptures, now we have questions. Now we have questions. Devotees, my experience was when I opened my mind to the knowledge, then everything became crystal clear. Everything became crystal clear. There are no more questions in my mind as to the understanding, as to what, why, where, when, how, all these things. No more. We simply accept it based on the faith that we have in Bhagwan, the faith that we have in God. So, Sati Devi is showing us how easily doubt and questions can come into our mind and run rampant in our minds, devotees. First, why is Lord Shiva paying obeisance? Can he be God? Will he come upon this earth? Will he also go in search of his wife like this, in this disturbed state? She said that Lord Vishnu, who is the storehouse of all knowledge, the Lord of Lakshmi Devi, the enemy of all the Rakshas, she said, would he go around in search of his consort like this? Remember why Prabhu Sri Ram played this part. Why he played this part, devotees? This was all enacted in order to rid the world of that personification of pride in the form of Ravan. So all of this had to happen. But in all of this activity, the Lord is teaching us. The Lord is teaching us, devotees, that when we have a consort, that the utmost care and attention should be to that consort. Isn't it so? Tony? Yes. I know he does this. The utmost care and attention should be upon our consort. Wife to husband, husband to wife. When young couples come to me and say, Panditji, Baba, I want to get married. Very good. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. I say, I just have two things to tell you. Two things. People go for months of marriage counseling, right? They go 6 months of marriage counseling, get married 2 months later, divorce. I say I sum up everything in two things I want to tell you. If you want your marriage to be successful, there should be three entities involved. Wife, husband, God. Don't leave God out. Make sure God is a part of your marriage. 2, The wife should live for the husband's happiness, and the husband should live for the wife's happiness. If this is true, then you have long and happy marriage life. But what happens, devotees? What happens when you get married? The couples forget God, right? Busy enjoying, going movies and whatnot and whatnot. Forget to pray and so on, until trouble come, right? And then the other thing is, the husband only thinking, this lady here cooking nothing for me. She not cleaning the place properly. She not doing this. She not doing that. And then the wife saying, this man's so lazy. He wouldn't go and mow the lawn. He wouldn't do anything around the house. All of these thoughts come and create problems. Create problems. But it can't be a one-way street, right? It cannot be a one-way street. It has to be both sides working together. So, Sri Ram is showing us that care and attention that he placed on his consort, right? When you remember, go back. I always tell my students, when I used to teach music a long time ago, and I always told them that remember when you came the first day to learn music, and you came with a thought in your mind. You came with a certain thought and certain intention. And at some point in this journey of learning music, you're going to be challenged. And you will feel that I can't do it. I can't manage this anymore. I want you to write that thought in your mind, why you came here today. Write it down. Don't just try to keep it in your mind. Because our minds forget very fast. Certain things, that is. Certain things remember very well, for many years sometimes. But certain things we forget. Selective memory is called. Right? So we write down why we came that day. So when we are challenged and we feel that I don't want to do it anymore, I want to quit now, then you go back and read. Go back and read why you came. And give yourself that inspiration again to keep moving forward. In the same way, devotees, when a young lady and a young man meet each other and they decide that I want to I want this person to be my life partner. When you hit a rough patch in your life, you go back and think of that time when you met. Why it is you decided to get married in the first place. And what changed in the interim. What changed? Prabhu Sri Ram is showing us, devotees, that care, that love, that attention that one should show to their consort. And what happens further? Let us hear. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Ram
Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama
Shambho Gira Kuni Mishan Hoye Shiva Sarva Jan Sab Koi Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jaya Ram
Jaya Jaya Rama
अस संशय मन भये अपारा बोलो श्री राम जय
रामा
होए न हृदय प्रभु प्रचारा बोलो श्री राम जय
जय रामा
श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय
रामा
रघुपति राघव राजा रामा रघुपति राघव राजा रामा बोलो रघुपति राघव
राजा रामा रघुपति राघव राजा रामा.
All these thoughts going through the mind of Parvati Devi, Sati Devi in fact. Shambhu gira puni mrisha na hoi, Shiva sarvagya jan sab koi. So now the mind is saying that all of this thing, all this negativity, all this doubt, but then she's saying, yet again, the words of Lord Shiva cannot be untrue. The words of Lord Shiva cannot be untrue. The Lord is the sum total of truth. What we said, Sat, Chid, Anand. Truth, consciousness, bliss. The Lord is the sum total of all of this. So nothing that the Lord does can be untrue. Can be untrue. So she's saying, the words of Lord Shiva cannot be untrue. Shiva sarvagya jan sab koi. Because everyone knows that Lord Shiva is all wise. He's all knowing. He knows everything. Devotees. As sansay man bhayu apara. Her mind, devotees, was filled with this great doubt, with this great consternation, this great disturbance. Hoina hridaya prabodha prachara. And in her heart, devotees, she couldn't find a solution. She could not find a solution for this doubt, for this difficulty that she found herself in. Devotees, many times we find ourselves like this, in this situation in our lives. And in those times when we find ourselves in these situations, devotees, what should one do? When we find ourselves with a lot of doubt in our minds, if we have a guru, then we should go to our guru. We should maintain a relationship with our guru. On Wednesdays, Guru Purnima, or Vyas Purnima. It's a very auspicious day where those who are blessed with a spiritual guide, that you should at least do mansik puja, puja in our minds to that guru. If you can reach physically to know them, to see them, to perform their puja, to touch their feet, then that's your blessing. But sometimes the guru lives in a different country. You know, for whatever reason, we migrate, they migrate. Sometimes guru has moved on. But even if the guru has passed on, devotees, doesn't mean that we should forget. Because our guru remains our guru. Guru never stops being that guru. And devotees, when we encounter doubt like this, we think of our guru. And who represents in the Hindu trinity Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva? Who represents guru? Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. So, here, Sati Devi is undergoing this great amount of doubt. And Lord Shiva is right there. Lord Shiva is right there, devotees. But she didn't go to him. She didn't say a word. She had this great doubt in her mind. And that great repository, that storehouse of all answers, It's right there. But she didn't use it. Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har. Jai Bhola Bhandari. Lord Shiva, who is most loving, He's most giving. He's that storehouse of all love, that storehouse of blessing, devotees. We humbly prostrate to Him today. Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har. Jai Bhola Bhandari. Jai Bhola Bhandari Shiva Har.
Jai Bhola Bhandari.
Jai Kailashapati Shiva Shankar.
Jai Kailashapati Shiva Shankar.
सब जग के हितकारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी.
जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी.
निश्रिन तेरा ध्यान करे, सुमरे मंत्र तिहारा. हे शिव शंकर मंत्र जगाए, होवे घट उजियारा. नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर नमामि शंकर.
नमामि शंकर.
कृपा करो त्रिपुरारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर.
जय भोला भंडारी.
तीनों ताप हरण कर लेता, ये त्रिशूल तिहारा. तेरा नाम जपे से जग में मिलता मुक्ति द्वारा. महादेव पर ब्रह्म विधाता. महादेव पर
विधाता.
आए शरण तिहारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर.
जय भोला भंडारी.
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर.
जय कैलाशपति शिव शंकर.
सब जग के हितकारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी. जय भोला भंडारी शिव हर. जय भोला भंडारी. बोलिए श्री महापति महादेव की जय. Shiv Shankar Bhagwan devotees, that storehouse of all kindness. He's called Mahadayalu. Mahadayalu, that one who is very, very merciful. Devotees. Sati Devi is encountering this doubt and this question, disturbance in her mind, but she would not say anything to Lord Shiva. And why she wouldn't say anything to Lord Shiva? Because the question was about Him. The question was about Lord Shiva. So spouses, we hearing something here today? Are we learning something today? Wives and husbands, if we have a question in our mind and a doubt in our mind about what, our spouse is doing, then what we have to do? Who is the best source of the answer for that question? See what? Right? We have to go to the spouse and say, hey, what's going on? You seeing this little prince wandering in the forest, and how come you get like this? Simple matter to open her mouth and ask this question. But devotees, what Sati Devi did? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Rama
Yadyapi pragatan ke Yadyapi pragatan kaheyu bhavani Har antar jami sab jani bolo Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama
सुनहि सती तब नारी सुभाओ संशय असन हरिया उरताओ श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama. What was that, devotees? Jadyapi pragatana kaheyu bhavani. So, as I said, she had this doubt, she had this question, this great disturbance, but she didn't open her mouth. She didn't open her mouth and ask anything. She was keeping it inside. We ever encounter this? You go home and your wife vex. You go home and your husband vex. And you don't know, mouth closed, face set up, what is happening? What is happening? Right? So Lord Shiva seeing everything written on the face. Everything is written on the face, devotees. Going through her mind, but, as they say, what is inside shows. If inside is in a big uproar, if our mind's in a big uproar, devotees, that shows in our face. It shows in our beings. And people can feel that energy. Others can feel that energy. Those who are very close to us, they'll feel that energy. If somebody is angry but they're staying quiet, they want to say nothing. They want to say anything, but they're very angry, you'll feel that energy. And you stay far. Lord Shiva, being very perceptive, har antarjami sab jani, that Lord Shiva is known as Antaryami, who knows the innermost thoughts of all. He knows the innermost thoughts of all. He understood. Sabjani, he knows everything. He understands everything, devotees. He knows the secrets of our hearts. So he said, Sunahi sati tab nari subhav. He said, Sati, you see this negative thinking that you're undergoing right now? This negative thoughts that you're entertaining right now. He says, Sansay asanad hariya urkau. That you should never entertain such thoughts. Boli Shri Mahapati Mahadev ki Jai. Lord Shiva, very perceptive. And he's saying to Sati Devi, the way that you are thinking, shouldn't. You should not think like this. You should not think like this. And devotees, Lord Shiva went on to say, let us hear in this chaupai. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Bolo Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Jasu Katha Kumbhaj Rishi Gaye, Jasu Katha Kumbhaj Rishi Gaye, Bhagate Jasu mein, Bhagate Jasu mein, Muni Sunaye. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Soye mam ishta deva Raghubira, Soye mam ishta deva Raghubira, सेवत जाहि, सेवत जाहि सदा मुनि धीरा. Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama, Shri Ram Jaya Rama, Jaya Jaya Rama. Lord Shiva went on to say, Jasu Katha Kumbhaj Rishigai, Bhagati Jasu Mai Munihi Sunai. So Lord Shiva didn't just tell Sati Devi, don't think like this. So he didn't just issue a command, he went on to explain why. So this is also very important. Also very important. When we say something, we should be able to give a valid reason why. Don't just say it because it came to mind. There should be a valid reason why we say what we say. Don't just speak just because, God gave us a mouth. Right? I always say this, that we have a mouth, we have a tongue, yes. But we also have a brain. So that brain should be used before mouth opens. In this age, most times the wrong side. Most times the mouth is open first, then the brain is start to work. Right? After the mouth open and say the wrong thing, then the brain say, oh gosh, sorry. I shouldn't have said this. Most times how it works, right? How many people have had that experience, have gone through that we say something and then we say, oh shucks, I shouldn't have said that. Yes. I'm seeing hands, yes. Yes, all of us, I think, if we're all truthful, we all say that. Right? So we should be able to take that pause to think before we speak. And this is Lord Shiva. He's saying to Sati Devi, you shouldn't think like this. This way that you're thinking is wrong. And he went on to say that this prince that you are talking about, this prince that you are thinking about, that katha that we heard from Agastya Muni, who we heard it from? Not just anybody. We heard it from Agastya Muni. Self-realized, God-realized soul. And faith in whom I have. I have the greatest faith in this incarnation of Bhagwan. He is the subject of that great katha that we sat down and discussed for so long. We spent so much time. He says, Soi mam ishtadev raghubira. He says, this incarnation is my ishtadev. It's my chosen deity. He's the one that I worship. He's the one that I worship. And beyond that, Sevata jahi sadamunidhira, that he is worshipped by all the wise sages, the munis, the rishis. He's worshipped by all of them. Lord Shiva is saying this. He's giving the reason. He says that Lord has incarnated himself in the house of the Raghu race, for the sake of his devotees. Sati Devi. All the Puranas, all the scriptures, all the Vedas, they all sing his praises. And devotees, Lord Shiva is saying all of this to Sati Devi, saying all of this to her and devotees. Our katha will complete with this surta. Let us hear what is said. जदपि कहेयो शिव बार बहो लागन उर उपदेश रामा लागन उर उपदेश हरि माया बल जानि जय बोले बिहसी महेश रामा बोले बिहसी महेश सिया वर रामचंद्र पद जय शरण शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया जदपि कहेयु शिव बार बहु. That Lord Shiva said many times, bar bahu. Many times Lord Shiva repeated himself, trying to give this knowledge to Sati Devi, trying to give this information to Sati Devi to clear her doubt, but it made no impression on her mind. It made no impression on her mind. Devotees, sometimes our mind can be very stubborn. Our minds can be very stubborn. And when that stubbornness comes, no matter what wise counsel is given to us, no matter how valuable the information is given to us, that mind will simply put up a wall and reject it. Mind is powerful like this also. It's very powerful like this. So all of this teaching that Lord Shiva is giving to Sati Devi, not listening. Not listening. Right? Sometimes as parents, we'll speak to our children and we'll say, child, you're going the wrong way. And you'll give million reasons why. Why, child, you're going the wrong way? And child will say, what? I know better still. I know better still. So let me do it my way. It's the mistakes that we make. The mistakes that we make in life. Sati Devi is being an example here. Sati Devi is making herself an example that Lord Shiva is trying to teach her, but not listening. Not listening. You say, close the ears. So, mouth moving, not hearing. Not hearing what that person is saying. And devotees. When Lord Shiva realized after some time, Hari Maya Balajani Jaya Bole Bihasi Mahesha. Devotees, realizing in his mind and in his heart the strength and the power of Harimaya, of the elusive power of Mahavishnu Bhagavan. Recognizing this power, devotees, Lord Shiva smiled. He bowed his head to that power of Lord Vishnu. And devotees, Thursday again, we'll do Shiv Shankar Bhagavan Katha, and we'll hear what goes on further after what was being said, what was happening here up till this point. We'll continue this Katha. I cannot finish it in one day, but we'll hear what goes on further. What Sati Devi did after this. Some of you will have an idea what she did, but we hear from the pages of Shri Ramcharitamanas. Boli Shri Mahapati Mahadeva Ki Jai. So before we go into Aarti, devotees, let us join our voices together as we chant praises unto Lord Shiva. It's very, very simple words, right? No one can say that they don't know these words. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Rameshwara Shiva Rameshwara. 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 Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Jatadhara Shiva Jatadhara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Jatadhara Shiva Jatadhara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Gangadhara Shiva Gangadhara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Someshwara Shiva Someshwara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Someshwara Shiva Someshwara. Har Har Bole Namah Shivaya. Koteshwara Shiva Koteshwara. हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
गोतेश्वराय शिव गोतेश्वराय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय।
नागेश्वराय शिव नागेश्वराय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
नागेश्वराय शिव नागेश्वराय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय।
नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय।
ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय।
I'd like to hear the voices of all who are present here. Those who are looking on virtually, join your voices with us also. I'll ask our main choruses not to use their mics. I want to hear all your voices chanting on to Lord Shiva. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bolo Mahapati Mahadev ki Jai. May the blessings of Shiv Shankar Bhagwan be upon all of you. You all have done exceptionally well tonight. You have brought a great energy, great Shakti, great love into this mandir. So at this time, devotees, as we say, all good things must come to an end. So we all stand as we engage in our final arti. Arti to Shri Ramayan. Om Sajang Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahanina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grihan Deveshu Trailokyam Timirapaham Arati Shri Ramayana Ji ki Kirati Kalita Lalita Siya Piki Arati Shri Ramayana
जी की कीरति कलित ललित सिया पी की।
गावत ब्रह्मा दिका मुनि नारद
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद
वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद
सुख सनकादि शेष और शारद बरने पवन सुत कीरति की बोलो
आरति श्री रामायण जी की
कीरति
कलित ललित सिया पी की।
गावत वेद पुराण दश दश
गावत वेद पुराण दश
चाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
चाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
मुनि जन धन संतन को सरवस सार अंश सम्मत सब ही के बोलो
आरती श्री रामायण जी की रति कलित ललित सिया पी की
गावत संतत शंभो भवानी
गावत संपत शंभो भवानी
अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी पाद गरुड़ के ही के बोलो आरती श्री रामायण जी की
रति कलित ललित सिया पी की
कलिमल हरानी विषय रस फीके
कलिमल हरणे विषय रस पीके
सुभग श्रृंगार मोती युवती के
भग श्रृंगार मुक्ति जुवती की
दलन रोग भव मोरियमी के तात मार्ग सब विधि तुलसी की बोलो आरती श्री रामायण
जी की रति कलित ललित सिया पी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सिया पी की आरती श्री
रामायण जी की रति कलित ललित सिया पी की
Whilst the arati is being completed, devotees, we join our voices once more in praise of Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. Om Dhimika Dhimika Dhim Dhimika Dhimika Dhim Nache Bhola Nath Om Dhimika Dhimika Dhim
धीमिका धीमिका धिम नाचे भोलानाथ
Om Dhimika Dhimika Dhim Dhimika Dhimika Dhim Nache Bhola Nath Om Dhimika Dhimika Dhim
धीमिका धीमिका धिम नाचे भोलानाथ
नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम धिमिका धिमिका धिम नाचे भोलानाथ ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम
धीमिका धीमिका धिम नाचे भोलानाथ
मृदंग बोले शिव 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 ओम
रंग बोले शिव शिव शिव
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम,
डमरू बोले हर 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 ओम,
वीणा बोले हरि ओम हरि ओम,
वीणा बोले हरि ओम हरि ओम।
नाचे भोलानाथ,
नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ, नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम धिमिका धिमिका धिम,
नाचे भोलानाथ,
ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम धिमिका धिमिका धिम,
नाचे भोलानाथ।
ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम धिमिका धिमिका धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ। ओम धिमिका धिमिका धिम धिमिका धिमिका धिम, नाचे भोलानाथ। बोलो महापति महादेव के जय। At this time, devotees, as we prepare ourselves for our final pratana, we clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads once more, seeking that solace, seeking that grace and blessings of Bhagwan. We have all joined so beautifully, so wonderfully today in the process of this devotion, in taking part in this devotion, devotees. The feeling that I am experiencing at this time, I cannot place it into words, I cannot put it into words. And I do hope that each and every one of you have had a divine experience here this evening. And those of you who are joining at home also, I hope that you have been touched by the presence of Bhagwan, that we feel all the hair on our bodies would have stood on edge at some point. We feel that exhilaration, that excitement of that devotion as it builds in our hearts. All of us, we are indeed very blessed this evening to have joined in this devotion. We pray and ask Prabhu to keep us on this path, to give us that encouragement, to give us that insight, that knowledge, the bhav and the feeling that leads us to becoming closer and closer to Him. Let us all pray, devotees. Hari Om. Mantrahinam kriyahinam Bhaktihinam janadanam Yat pujitam maya devam Paripurnam tarastu me Avahanam na janami visarjanam Pujam chaiva na janami Shamyatam parameshwaram Tvameva mata Shapita tvameva Tvameva bandhu shasaka tvameva Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva Om asato ma sadgamaya Tamso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya He Sarva Shaktiman Sachidananda Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarvavyapak Antaryami Ajar Amar Nitya Pavitra Shrishti Karta Ko बारंबार नमस्कार है। हे परमात्मा, भविष्य वर्तमान दुखियों का कष्ट हरण करके सुबुद्धि को प्रकाश करके जिससे सबका मंगल होए। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। This wonderful prarthana as we end this evening's devotion we say, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम,
ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम।
लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो, युगल चरण में ले लो राम, ले लो राम,
मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम,
मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम, मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, उड़ीसा जगन्नाथ की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय, सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। प्रेम से आसन लीजिए। प्लीज हैव योर सीट्स devotees. I don't like to make promises, but I'm hopeful that one night we will sing this whole bhajan, the one that we sang just now, right? So I'm not promising, so in case I forget, don't say I promise. So devotees, again, another wonderful session, 2 sessions completed. We have 6 more to look forward to. I say, when we doing these things, it goes very fast. Before you know it, the week is done. So please join with us as much as you can, to those who are at home, right? If you can make it out to the mandir, please come out and join us here, right? If it's within your travel, the distance, and you're comfortable with that, please come and join us, right? We welcome all the devotees, come and be with us. And if you have to join virtually, you have to join virtually. That's okay. At least it's available, right? And we're not left out of the whole thing. So this is the one good thing about it. So until tomorrow evening, I forgot to do the announcements last night. So just very quickly, so that everyone knows, on Wednesday, Guru Purnima, so Vyas Puja will be done. So those who have your Guru, if your Guru is me, then you can do my puja. Then if your Guru is not here physically, we have a very beautiful murti of Lord Shiva. You can go to Lord Shiva and vision your Guru in this form and perform arti, do puja, gain the grace and blessings of Guru on that auspicious day, right? Those who are doing at home, again, if you have a picture of your Guru, you can do, a puja to the picture, right? And feel that you're touching the feet of your Guru on that day. Also, that day is symbolic Ram Janma Puja. So, puja to baby Sri Ram. On Thursday, we have Rameshwar Puja, puja unto Lord Shiva. And on Saturday is Shri Ganesh Ji Chaturthi. So also we'll be making offerings to Lord Ganesha on that day. So, it's a very packed week of activities, and, it's something for us to really, really embrace and enjoy. So please take note of these activities as we move forward. So once more, God's grace and blessings upon each and every one of you until tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jai Jai.